3 p.m. here in Cairo, time for the news. I'm Shina Adel, and I'm joined by my colleague Amal Mukhtar. Good afternoon, Amal.
Good afternoon, Shireen, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We start our news bulletin with the headlines.
President Fattah al-Sisi gave directions on continuing upgrading to higher education facilities and institutions as part of state strategy to improve quality of academic and postgraduate education and encouraging scientific research. This came at a meeting with the President held with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Higher Education, as well as several other officials. The President also stressed the need to continue implementing digitalization programs in the field of higher education and to link higher education and scientific research with workplaces and development needs. The head of the state urged a focus on applicable science and similar fields related to technology, artificial intelligence, digitalization, and engineering.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Expatriate Affairs Badr Abdulati on Monday met with Bahrain's King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa in Manama as part of a visit that began on Sunday. The two sides have asserted the importance of joint cooperation to enhance Gulf security, as it is an integral part of Egyptian national security, as well as enhancing economic ties. The meeting also reviewed latest efforts to maintain the Gaza ceasefire and ensure the flow of needed aid into Palestinian enclave, as well as developments in Syria.
Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati stressed on the necessity of making ceasefire agreement in Gaza Strip more durable and sustainable, together with the entry of greater amounts of humanitarian and relief aid in accelerated pace in order to address the most urgent needs of the enclave's residents. These remarks were made over a phone call between the top diplomat and U.S. Special Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff. Abdulati stressed on the importance of the U.S. role in guaranteeing implementation of ceasefire agreement and in establishing a final settlement of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict based on new resolutions.
Over another phone call with the EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Expatriate Affairs said that the Palestinian people should remain in their land and their right for determination respected. Abdulati also again stressed the necessity of a durable, sustainable and full implementation of the ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip in its 3 stages. The top diplomat also urged the EU to continue its humanitarian aid bound to Gaza and to cooperate in launching early recovery and reconstruction projects and programs needed to ensure that Palestinians keep living in their territories.
The Arab League Council began on Monday an extraordinary meeting at the level of permanent representatives under the presidency of Yemen, the current chair of the council, upon request of Palestine and a number of Arab countries. Arab League Assistant Secretary General Ambassador Hossein Zaki said that the meeting discusses the Arab movement to support the Palestinian cause, especially in line with the continued genocides, crimes and starvation policy committed by Israel and displacements of the Palestinian people.
Negotiations on the second phase of ceasefire deal in the Gaza Strip war are set to begin Monday between mediators Egypt, United States and Qatar. In Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, who joined the ceasefire negotiations last month, is expected to formally begin talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the issue. On the ground, at least 5 Palestinians were wounded in an Israeli strike on Sunday on a vehicle on the coastal road west of Nusayrat camp in the central part of the Gaza Strip. Despite the ceasefire deal that halted the Israeli war of genocide in the Strip, several Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire in the enclave in violation of the ceasefire that took effect on the 19th of January. Palestinian group Hamas accused Israel of stalling over the implementation of humanitarian part of the deal, saying Israel has yet to permit the entry of the needed relief supplies, including tents, fuel, food, materials, and heavy machinery for reconstruction.
And aid workers said that although aid is flooding into Gaza Strip, it is still an uphill battle to ensure assistance reaches everyone. Humanitarian groups say aid distribution is complicated by destroyed or damaged roads. Israeli inspections and the threat of unexploded bombs. The World Food Programme said any hope for a recovery in Gaza needs a comprehensive humanitarian response. It added that high food prices are still a challenge. Palestinians in the north also complained that there are not nearly enough tents entering Gaza, while some hospitals and desalination plants still have fuel shortages. The Israeli inspection process also hinders getting certain types of aid into Gaza. Some items are deemed dual-use, barring them from Gaza.
Egypt continues efforts to enter humanitarian and relief aid into Gaza Strip as the number of trucks that entered this morning reached 50 trucks, including 17 fuel trucks. Trucks entering the Strip enter after being checked at Ouga and Karam Busalem border crossings, paving the way to get into the Strip. Since the start of the truce on 19th of January, 2,760 trucks have entered, among them 2,593 aid trucks and 167 trucks of fuel and gas for cooking.
And the Palestinian presidency accused Israel of committing ethnic cleansing in the West Bank as Israeli occupation forces continued a two-week offensive in northern city of Jenin. The offensive has so far killed at least 25 Palestinians, leveled dozens of housing buildings, and forced displacements of 15,000 Palestinians. Official Palestinian news agency Wafa said one Palestinian was killed at the entrance of the Jenin refugee camp this morning. The Israeli occupation forces also blew up simultaneously about 20 buildings in the eastern part of the camp. The Israeli military launched a major offensive in the West Bank on January 21st in Jenin area.
A car bomb has exploded on the outskirts of the northern Syrian city of Mabneh on Monday, killing 19 people in the second attack there in 3 days. It is the Syria's deadliest since Bashar al-Assad was toppled from power in December. All but one of victims are women, as the car detonated next to the vehicle carrying mostly female agricultural workers on the outskirts of the city. The blast also left more than a dozen wounded. There were no immediate claims of responsibility for the attack in the city that is in northern Aleppo province, located some 30 kilometers from the Turkish border. On Saturday, a car bomb in Mabneh killed 4 civilians and wounded 9 others, including children. Mabneh has changed hands numerous times during the Syrian war, most recently in December when Turkey-backed groups captured it from the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces, which is led by the Kurdish YPG militia.
Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul-Ghait held a meeting with the Sudan's Foreign Minister Ali Yusuf al-Sharif to review latest developments in Sudan after the Sudanese army advanced and victories over militias of the Rapid Support Forces. The Sudanese top diplomat stressed on the significance of the Arab League support to his country and also importance of continuing consultations in light of recent developments witnessed in Sudan.
A bomb tore through the lobby of a luxury apartment block in Moscow on Monday, killing at least 1 person and injuring 4 others in an attack targeting a pro-Russian paramilitary leader from eastern Ukraine. TASS news agency have called the blast an assassination attempt and identified a suspect who is accused by Ukraine of aiding Russia's war effort in the eastern Ukraine region of Donetsk. In another development, the governor of Russia's Astrakhan region said that a gas processing plant in the region had suspended operations after coming under a Ukrainian drone attack overnight on Sunday.
Welcome back, dear viewers. And Egypt's bourse inched lower at today's midday transactions purchased by local and Arab investors, sell-offs against foreign investor purchases. The benchmark index EGX 30 fell 0.5% above the 27,766 point mark. And equal weight indices EGX 70 and EGX 100 dipped 0.9% and 0.8% respectively.
EU leaders meeting in Brussels Monday warned there would be no winners in a trade war, with the United States insisting that they would hit back if President Donald Trump imposes tariffs. French President Emmanuel Macron said the European Union must show its muscle if Trump makes good on his threats to block earlier Canada and Mexico ordered retaliatory tariffs on American goods in response to sweeping U.S. tariffs. Financial market reaction on Monday reflected concerns about the fallout. The Chinese yuan, Canadian dollar, and Mexican peso all slumped against a suing drawer.
And oil prices rose today as U.S. President Donald Trump eyed more tariffs after launching trade wars with Canada. China and Mexico heaping pressure on global economy. U.S. Texas Intermediate crude was up $1.28 at $73.81 a barrel, and Brent crude futures adding 64 cents to $76.31 a barrel as investors try to gauge the impact of the tariffs on world energy.
Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of the news bulletin. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I have all the pleasure to be joined with my dear colleague, Shireen Aida. Thank you, Shireen.
Thank you, Amal. Thank you, dear viewers.